Right, I'm not being nice this week. I've been shunned by the man I love. For 8 months I've given that man everything. My life, my soul, my only to find out he's had a baby with his wife. Yeah, marvelous. I'm kidding. Grant and Sarah Lees, congratulations. You'll smash this. Liam got a suitable replacement for the week. He's lovely. He's like Grant but English. Everything Grant wishes he could be. It's the lower league look. It's the lower league look. It's the lower league look. It's the lower league look.
Right, buzzing, clap. Oh, that were a dodgy noise, wasn't it? Guys, welcome. We're back in front of computers. We're not walking around caravan sites. Grant, as you can see, I thought I pointed the right way, and then Grant has shaved his head. He's moved very far south. He's changed his name to Russell, and he is now a Mansfield fan. Russell, no, thank you very much. Grant isn't here tonight because anyone who tuned into the space last night will see that he's had a baby. Well, he hasn't. His missus has had a baby. So yeah, congratulations, mate. I hope it's going really well. I know that you're having fun changing nappies. I'd rather be here, not gonna lie. But yeah, no, congratulations, and Russell, thank you very much for dropping in. Welcome. Isn't it nice here?
Thanks for having us. Congratulations, Grant. Thanks for having me. I cannot speak Scottish whatsoever. However, I did purchase some iron brew, so I've got a little bit of Scottish.
You had whiskey. I thought you had whiskey.
No, iron brew. Picked up some iron brew for the occasion.
Yes. Oh, I wish if I'd have known that, I'd have got. Have I got any iron brew? I haven't. I've got whiskey. I'm not doing that. Not the night before work. But Russell, Mansfield fan. Tell us a little bit about that. How long have you been a Mansfield fan? Why are you a Mansfield fan? Is it local? Is it family?
Yeah, so I've been a Mansfield Town fan for more or less all my life. Local lad. My dad took me when I was younger. Passed away. His ashes are buried at the club. I had a little boy. He decided during COVID he wanted to go and watch Stags a bit more. And here we are, season ticket holders. And yeah, in really enjoying home games. Away games, not so much at the moment.
No, and you've got that nice little wall mural done as well.
Yeah.
That was done. Was that done last week for your little boy's birthday?
Yeah, that was done last week. So I've had to record this in his bedroom because apparently it's the coolest bedroom in the house, and he just wanted to show it off.
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. It is the coolest room. And I haven't seen the other rooms in your house, but it's going to be hard to top unless you've got a Bradford thing on your wall in the other room. It's not going to get topped. But no, honestly, thank you. It's good to have you. It's good to get a little bit of variety. We do we do appreciate it. And now we've started doing the 606s. We've got a lot more outreach. We've got a lot more people that are sort of willing to speak, because I think a lot of people were quite nervous about speaking previously. So
yeah, definitely. I think the 606 has really helped. I mean, it's nice to hear from fans from other clubs as well, you know.
Yeah, well, it got really aggressive last night.
It was good though. It was. If you've not heard it, go back and listen to it. Honestly, the Swindon Civil War is up there with the Avengers film. You know, the last one where they all fall out.
The Captain America, America Civil War. Yeah, but the thing is, I know right now. What time is it? 8:20. So they'll start at 8:30. The Fools Rushing guys that were on the 606 are recording their weekly episode now about everything we discussed last night. And to be fair, it's still happening now. I've been arguing with them on Twitter today.
Yeah.
Still, same conversation. They are so split. Something's not going right at Swindon, but something's not going right at a lot of clubs.
Yeah.
Including yourselves, from where you would like to be. Sum up your season so far. 9 points, 3 wins, no draws, 3 losses.
Well, I'd like to start off by, obviously, we play at the One Call Stadium. For those that have been going a long time, we call it Field Mill. I'm going to rename it Fortress Mill because there ain't no one coming there and beating us at the minute.
So is it 3 wins at home, 3 losses away? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Wow.
However,
what's that like?
It's weird. Honestly, it's weird. It's just like when we go away from home, we're just like a different team. At home, the fans are behind you. You put in. I genuinely feel when we've got the ball on the floor, there ain't many teams that can match us footballing wise. But then when we went to Sutton last Saturday, we get bullied and we play hoofball, and we're like, that's not the way we're meant to play.
No,
but
I think a lot of teams
being chopped and changed.
Yeah, I think a lot of teams, especially with the likes of Sutton, Sutton are very much for me in the same mould as a Northampton, in that they play quite a physical way, and you have to kind of match what they're doing. And if you don't play that way naturally, it can be hard. Doncaster play kind of a mixture. They play some good football, but they also are quite thuggish, and they can be, time wasting. They can have some shit tricks, and that's why they were losing to Sutton, but they managed to win in the end. And I think they're one of those teams. If you aren't used to playing their way, you'll struggle. We'll struggle coming up against Sutton, I think, when we do. But it's insane to look at 3 wins at home and 3 losses away. Is some going.
And, it's like, obviously we're at home in that Papa John's tomorrow against City under-21s, which it's just one of them games, isn't it? But then obviously Saturday we're away at Donny, and you're like, I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest. But I just think of all the games, this would probably be the one we turn up and win.
I think the one sort of comfort I am taking from the Donny situation at the minute is everyone that's playing them is saying the same. They're not playing great football.
Yeah.
They are spending a lot of time wasting. They do. They did that against us, and it seems like they've done that against a lot of teams. It's only a matter of time until somebody goes there and says, "I'm going to beat that." And Charles said last night on the 606, it's going to come unstuck for them at some stage. I hope it is this Saturday. I really hope it is this Saturday.
I'd just like to get a point away from home. I mean, a point would be fantastic.
Yeah,
just somewhere away.
It's not been the best to start, but it's early days. We're 6 games in. You're in a much better position than what we're in, and people predicted we'd be up there.
Yeah.
So
for
us,
I was one of those. I genuinely thought. I think that my question is with Bradford, and this is like a genuine question. If Bradford season tickets were as expensive as Swindon's, would they be calling for Mark Hughes' head or not? Do you think the cheaper tickets gives him a little bit more leeway?
No, I think the opposite, the absolute opposite. The issue that we have is that the cheap season I don't like cheap season tickets because I don't think they are. I think they're fair.
No, I go for that as well.
I think looking at the prices this year, someone's told me that I think we're the 5th or 6th lowest season ticket price, so we're not actually as far down now. But no, what we've done is we've attracted kind of fair weather fans who in Bradford you'll see it on a weekday when you walk around. Man United fans, Liverpool fans, Chelsea fans, they're wearing the shirts. Those sort of people that can't get to those games have bought the season tickets at Bradford because they are so cheap in comparison to those. What you get with those is they want instant success. And I feel like that has made us worse that's made us more trigger happy with managers because those fans are not willing to trust a project because they don't buy into the project. They're not there for the long haul. They're there for a good time. And if we aren't giving them that good time, if we're not putting out results and wins every week, you saw it with Derek Adams. Derek Adams last season came in as a Bradford manager. Derek Adams has always, if you look at his history, he's always struggled in his first season, but he's always got his team promoted in the second year.
Yeah.
And by October last year, people were calling for Derek Adams' head because we weren't up at the top. If we'd have kept Derek Adams last season, I'm glad we didn't because obviously we've got Mark Hughes. We've got this team that he's a great team now. It's just not quite clicked yet. But Derek Adams, I do still believe would have got us up this year. It's obviously it's ifs and buts, but yeah, I do feel that the more fans that we've attracted, the less patience that fan base has.
I think there's a lot of it about though this season. I mean, I've not seen much on the Mansfield pages about Cloughie. I think there's been a few probably questioning his selection, and maybe tactics, but I've not seen anyone physically come out and said I want rid because I think people have brought in. And Cloughie's quite approachable. He will talk to fans after the game and stuff like that. And I think that helps because you build up that bond. But like just looking around on Twitter today, there's like Colchester, they want rid of their manager. Swindon, there's rumours they want rid of some of their managers. Crawley's Twitter is fantastic at the minute because that is imploding massively.
People when we were obviously we're sponsored by Crawley's owners. at this podcast, but people said when we were sponsored by them, "Oh, you're going to give Crawley an easy ride." Blah blah blah. We're not. As soon as that result came out on Saturday, I quoted it, tagged Crawley, and said, "This isn't good. This isn't good at all." And we're happy. We'll call them if we don't think it's going well. The one thing that wagged me that Crawley's owners want is they want to be held accountable for if it doesn't go right. So they want people to call them out when it's going wrong, and we'll call them out, and we have. It's going terribly wrong at the minute at Crawley. I think they'll get it right long run, but right now, they gave Rochdale their first point of the season, and that's not. That's for me. That's unforgivable. It really is, especially when you've brought in Dom Telford. I get it; he's out injured at the minute, but you've brought in Dom Telford amongst other bigger names and good players. Other teams, good players. I think we'll see a move from Crawley this week. Maybe an ambitious transfer move this week from Crawley. I do. I think we're going to see a few.
Yeah, I think it's worrying times, isn't it, at the minute for Crawley? You know, you've set up, you've got new owners, and these new owners are saying they want to do it this way, they want to do it the proper way, but it's just not working for them. And just looking at the highlights yesterday from what's floating around on the internet, Rochdale nearly scored at the end and nearly took all 3 points. And for me, realistically, they're one of the poorest teams at the moment in the league. And
I think they're the poorest by a long way.
But
I really do.
You know, and it's just, but if they're matching them and nearly, let's be honest, nearly losing to them, then there's so much not working at Crawley. And it's not going to be long until fans are going, well, actually, this ain't working. But it's down to the owners, isn't it? And
I think had they lost that game on Saturday, I think we would have seen a manager change. I don't think, based on, unless Rochdale now go on a couple of wins, it'll get obviously there's more of an excuse to kind of draw or lose to them or whatever. But if Rochdale carry on the way that they are, let's say Saturday hadn't happened and Crawley had won, and Rochdale went on another 2 or 3 games and lost, and then they came up against Hartlepool, and Hartlepool lost to Rochdale. They have got to sack their manager. I think anyone who comes up against Rochdale at this point and loses has got to really consider sacking their manager. They can't. If your manager's not up for beating that worst team in the league, I get it. Sometimes it's luck, but like you said on Saturday, Rochdale, highlights-wise, looked like they were going to take it. Looked like they could have been the better team.
Yeah.
I think you've got to really, really consider your options as an owner. But we'll come on to Hartlepool. I'll talk about Hartlepool here. Hartlepool are in a shit situation themselves.
Yeah.
Where their fans are also calling for, a large portion of their fans are calling for them out. But nothing's going to change. For me, for Hartlepool, their owner needs to go.
Yeah. Massively. And you can see it week by week, that fan base, and it's just dropping.
There's a divide between the club and the fans as well. That's getting bigger and bigger. But we have guys who work for Hartlepool. We have directors at Hartlepool who follow us, who watch this podcast, and we've never been one for shying away from it. I will openly say, Raj needs to, unless there's a miraculous turnaround and there's a 300 grand signing coming in this week for Hartlepool from a low-end championship side for a player who's got a track record that's phenomenal and he's going to fire him up the leagues. Unless there's a player that's coming in like that this week, Raj has not lied, but completely misled everyone. He said they had a playoff budget. I don't know what year he was talking about, because it ain't a playoff budget this year.
No.
He brought, obviously, Challoner went. He gave Graham Lee the job. Graham Lee went the day before the game before the last game of the season. He sacked Graham Lee, but didn't have anyone lined up to come in. So he had no one lined up to come in, and it took him however long to get Hartley. Hartley then started taking a while to get players, and then the players that they brought in, low-end Scottish division players, who a lot of them. I said to Grant, I looked back over every player, and I think only one of the players that Hartlepool signed this summer over the last 3 or 4 years has played more than 30 games in one season.
Yeah, they've got a lot of like lower League Two players.
Yeah,
and and this is no disrespect to Scottish football. I'm probably going to upset someone here, but
No, he'll agree.
It's not at the level at League Two.
It's not.
League Two is probably Scottish Championship because it's just so poor. And
Yeah,
that's not a dig. I mean, we had Jamie Murphy on loan last season who quite frankly, couldn't hit a cow's arse with a banjo. And then he's gone back up to Scotland and started scoring again. So for me, that
you've got
kind
that
of sums up.
Sort of it's weird. Sort of mid to lower Championship in Scotland and mid to higher League One probably cover League Two perfectly. But yeah, no, league teams, players from League Two clubs is the equivalent of plucking players out of non-league in England. Which, don't get me wrong, there's some gems in non-league, some real gems. But if they've not been great at that League Two level in Scotland, it's a step up.
Yeah,
It's a completely different change of game because it is different Scottish and English football, and I think that's why we're maybe seeing the struggle. The other issue that I kind of have with Hartley is that I feel like he's got a bit of arrogance about him. I feel like he is a manager who has won things. You know, he won with Cove. I think he did a double with Cove.
Yeah,
he had the biggest budget in the league at the time. And I feel like he's come to Hartlepool and he feels like he should be given. I feel like he's earned more than he's getting, and he should by right get what he's getting.
I watched his post-match interview, and it's a case of he's done well with Cove, and you can't argue what he's done there. But he's come here, and I think he sees himself as a top 3 manager in that league in his own little bubble. I think he thinks he's better than what he is. And the thing is, the chairman's going to be forced into a thing where he goes, well, if I keep this guy, I'm going to be near bottom. But then the fans are going to stop coming, and they will, because fans vote with their feet, don't they? You see,
they already are.
They'll always be there. You've got that money, but you rely on walk-ups. And if you ain't playing a good, attractive football, they ain't coming. And the problem is, the chairman needs to come out after he's gone and say, you know what, I made a mistake. But you won't.
He doesn't. The chairman comes out. What the chairman has done is the chairman has come out and reaffirmed that they have this playoff budget, so that if he has to sack the manager, he can turn around and go, I gave him a playoff budget and he didn't succeed. What more do you want me to do? For me, I've said it for a while. Grant disagreed massively at first, but I feel like he's kind of coming round to it now. I feel like Paul Hartley is just another Derek Adams. Yeah. Derek Adams, don't get me wrong, I've said about Derek Adams, I feel like he'd have got it right second season, but Derek Adams was just so oblivious to the problems. He wouldn't admit that there were problems, and I feel like Hartley's got that arrogance about him. But Derek Adams has done it at an English League Two level, so he's maybe earned that right, whereas Hartley hasn't. Hartley walked off. Hartlepool played at Blackburn in the Cup a couple of weeks ago. They got spanked 4-0.
Yeah.
They had a few hundred fans travel down from Hartlepool on a Wednesday night to watch the game, and at full time, Hartley just walked straight down the tunnel, didn't say thank you, didn't acknowledge them. You're not endearing yourself to you. If you're doing well and it's a one-off loss and you walk down the tunnel, fine. But if you're on this streak and you've not put a win in yet, you've got to endear yourself. You've got to get yourself in with the fans, and he's not doing that. I love that we can slag Hartlepool off at the minute when Grant's not here. It's incredible.
He'd be sat at home watching this and he'd be raging.
Do you know what he won't? Because he'll be like, nothing's going to make him angry at the minute. But it was. Do you know what Grant said to me on Saturday morning? So obviously the baby was born early Saturday, like early hours Saturday, and he said to me, "I tell you what, mate, it's fate. Is this? Lump everything you have on a Hartlepool win today." They conceded 4. And then someone predicted online that Leyton Orient would score 4, and Grant's dad quoted the tweet, tagged Hartlepool, and went, "Look at these jokers thinking Leyton Orient are going to score 4. Prove them wrong, boys." And then they went and conceded 4.
Amazing. That's brilliant. I'll be framing that tweet.
Oh, I don't know if it's been deleted, but if not, I'm getting it on a T-shirt.
Yeah, that needs to be. Yeah, brilliant.
So yeah, 4-2. I'll come on. Do you know what? We'll go on to results. We might as well. We've just said there. Leyton Orient smashing Hartlepool 4-2. I'll quickly buzz through these. Barrow, another win against Wimbledon. It's a banging win again. Bradford City Crew, possibly one of the dullest games I've ever watched in my life. Not helped by a referee, but it wasn't even a referee biased to one side. He was just terrible to both.
Yeah.
We should have had a penalty in the 92nd minute. It's a Stonewaller, but there were probably incidents earlier that we got away with. So Carlisle turning over Gillingham. Gillingham have scored, I think, 1 in 6 now. Or
So
1 in 5.
I've got a stat here. It's been 7 hours and 35 minutes since Gillingham last scored.
That's not a good stat. That's terrible. That's not even Hartley. That's not even Rochdale levels of bad.
I genuinely think that he's going to be the next manager to go. He came out at the end of that season, didn't he, with a quote of, "These aren't my players. These aren't good enough. These aren't fit enough. You'll see a lot of movement and a lot of these will be gone." Well, you've come out with that at the end of the season. You've now got your own squad. You've not scored for 7.5 hours. You've got the second joint worst goal difference in the league, and you're dropping like a stone. And I know there's an expectancy on teams that come down. As a fan, you always think when your team get relegated, oh well, we're pushed up a bit like Donny. Donny have done well, but Gillingham are just sinking at the minute.
When you get dragged into that battle at the bottom as well, it's hard to get back out of it.
Yeah,
it's very hard to get back out of it. Harrogate are another one, hemorrhaging. Newport put 4 past Harrogate on Saturday at Harrogate as well. I say Leighton Orient beat Hartlepool. Donny got the win against Northampton. Again, Northampton fans not too real impressed by Doncaster. But
I saw that today. I was speaking to a Northampton fan, and he were like, they're really average, but they're just grinding out results.
Yeah. It's that thing. I said this last night on 606, if it works, it works. No one wants to play a team that are doing that. And to be fair, I wouldn't want to watch my team playing that way.
No.
I think maybe in the first 6-7 games, it's like, it's a bit, we're getting the results. It's a bit funny, but if in 20 games time, 30 games time, they're still doing it, it's going to be, I think attendances will be dull, be down for them as well. It's going to be really dull to watch. We've said Rochdale, Crawley. Just want to say, on the other foot, banging point for Rochdale. A really good point for Rochdale.
I mean, it's a goal from an ex-Stag as well, Tyrese Sinclair. It's good. Tyrese was very up and down when he played for Mansfield. Some people think he was fantastic. Others think he had all the potential and didn't show it. So it's nice for him to get a goal and get off the mark. And hopefully he does the biz for Rochdale, apart from against us, but yeah.
And does. Salford ended Stevenage's run. I didn't see that coming.
No, I think I may have
was anything against
them harshly when we played them. I said they were average, but looking back on it, obviously first game of the season, they built something really, really good there. As much as I don't want to admit it, because their away end is an absolute joke.
The thing with Salford is every year all eyes are on Salford because of expectancy. This year, with what Crawley were doing, I feel like that gaze that's usually on Salford was on Crawley, and Salford have gone under the radar this summer. Yeah. And I feel like they've maybe got less pressure now. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But ending Stevenage's run, Stevenage have conquered some big names. So
yeah, and it'd be interesting to see how they bounce back from this as well.
Yeah,
you've got to pick yourselves up and bounce back.
Yeah. Swindon. I don't know how to talk about Swindon because it's just so difficult. Swindon, they drew 1-1 with Stockport. Stockport were down to 10 men. Swindon should have won. But, and I've said this to Swindon fans, we can't sit every week and hear, but we played really well, we should have won. If you didn't win, you didn't win.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. We really should have won against Crewe. We didn't.
Yeah.
So how often can we do that? How often can we have that conversation? And how long is it before Swindon fans go, last year we had a transfer embargo. We could only spend £1,400 a week on players. This year we have no transfer embargo. We can spend a lot more. We've been charged more for season tickets this year. And we are 17th. And we have won once. And that was against Rochdale.
And it's just so poor. I mean, you've got some you know, you've got some fans that are staying optimistic about it and everything like that. But, you know, saying, right, we're going to charge you extra, but, you know, you're going to own a part of the stadium, you're going to buy into the redevelopments. So if you're telling me, if McCurdy goes this week, right,
Yeah.
and they get, let's say, I'm just picking a random figure out. So let's say they get 600K for it, and then he decides to reinvest 300 of it and say, well, the other 300's for the stadium. Our Swindon fans going to be happy about that, because I know damn well I will be.
No, and I think the thing that's, I think it's a con. I think it's an absolute con. You're gonna be owning part of the stadium. When he sells that club later down the line, a Swindon fan's going to get money.
No.
I'm a part owner of the stadium. If I bought a season ticket, am I going? But what's going to happen in 12 months' time when the season tickets need to be renewed? Have they got to pay extra on top of their season ticket still to maintain that ownership? Or is it just based on this season? Is it the fan ownership? I don't understand how it works. If I haven't bought a season ticket this year, but I do next year, am I included in that? Is it the fan base as a whole, or are individual fans that are buying those season tickets getting a share? But I'll be honest, I think it's a con. I said it last night.
Yeah.
When he took over, he had to prove he had the money to clear their debts. And then Ben, the Swindon fan, said last night, we've still got 1.5 million that he's not clearing. It's the part of the money from the season tickets that's clearing it. That's fraud.
Yeah.
That is fraud. He has said he's got the money. He has agreed to pay it. And now he's getting you guys to. That's fraud. It doesn't matter how we look at it. It is fraud.
You're a fan. You're putting into his club to keep his club going, to make it more money, get more revenue. So then why are you paying for past mistakes? I know it's always down to the fans, but
they've already paid for those past mistakes.
There is a lot of problems at Swindon, and that's just within the ownership and the fan base. And the problem is those Swindon fans that are happy about this. I mean, how did he get Swindon fans to buy into that idea in the first place? I mean, there's not many clubs out there that would say, we're putting your season tickets up, you're going to own part at stadium, but I'm not going to write anything down legally, and I'm not going to show you which part you own.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a tap in the toilet for all they know.
Do you know the thing? Do you want to know why they're so happy to accept it? Because they had such shit last time. They feel like they are indebted to him. He hasn't saved Swindon Town out of the good of his own heart. He has saved Swindon because he can see that he can make money.
Yeah.
He's going to make more than he bought the club for when it comes to selling at some stage.
Yeah.
I don't know. Put it this way, if it comes to end of April next year and Swindon are 17th, 18th in this league, no one is going to be going, yeah, but I got part of the stadium as my season. No, it's not going to happen. Lindsay's not going to be given that much time. They recruited poor. I feel like they recruited really, really poor. Every man and his dog knew that Ben Garner was going to Charlton. It was reported so early on. Ben Garner came out and said that he wasn't going. Then he said if he did go, he wouldn't take play. They knew Ben Garner was going. They sat around. They waited, and then they appointed a coach who was already at the club as the manager. Yeah, I'm not going to go on a Swindon anymore because we're just going to turn it into a Swindon episode.
Yeah, I know. There is so much going on, and realistically,
we could do a specific one, and I think we will.
Yeah, I mean, Lindsay's not the man to manage McCurdy either. I think we've proved that already at the start of the season, sending off for dissent, chucking a shake everywhere. And even on his Instagram, it's, remember to drink it next time. And it's just like, mate, just come out and apologise. I'd be fuming. If I were a Swindon fan and I saw that, I'd be fuming.
Especially if he leaves this week.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he leaves this week and that's his part? Yeah, I think he will. Sutton beat Mansfield. Then we move on. Tranmere beat Colchester. Tranmere, another one. They're either going to be smashing people or losing. They probably should have been the Rochdale scale, but it's fine. We've got the Clem chart now, which is at Swindon, and it's basically Swindon. Ben is like up here as a 10, so optimistic, and then we've got Boo, who's a Swindon fan, who's like -6, and then Clem's in middle, just laughing at both of them, taking money. And then Walsall losing to Grimsby. Walsall have really dropped the ball since that start, and they've kind of no wins in 4.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, people are going to go on. Danny Johnson scored and all the rest. Danny Johnson's not coming back to Mansfield. He isn't. But if he continues to score, and Walsall continue to go on this decline, he ain't staying at Walsall either because he ain't going to want to.
No.
So you've got that issue. But I'm going to say something now, and it's not going to go down well. But I think Grimsby have done better start in League Two than what Stockport have.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Some Stockport fans will get on it and say we're a massive club and all that, but you're finding it hard in League Two, and you need to look at where you are now. And that's I don't think they'll be up there come the end of the season. Some people do, but I don't.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know with Stockport. I felt like they would be, but I'm kind of questioning now. One thing I'll say about Danny Johnson, like people are raving about Danny Johnson. Oh, he scored 6 goals in 6 games. So has Andy Cook. Andy Cook scored 6 in 6 for Bradford, but we still are talking about needing potentially better. And I don't think we do. I think Andy Cook's phenomenal, but it's Andy Cook's scored 6 in 6. He's not setting the world alight, really. He's not, and that's not a knock on Andy Cook. Whereas a team, we're starting quite slow. I feel like he'll be up there on the goal scorers. But when you look, there's players that are doing much better than Danny Johnson. Don't know. I don't know what he's going to do. As far as I know, he comes back in January. You guys have got a gentleman's agreement with Walsall for them to buy. But
I don't think we might have, but it's down to Danny at the end of the day, isn't it? And if he sees him languishing around mid-table and he's scoring all them goals, are you really going to want to go?
Depends who else Somebody is on the table, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, Swindon might lose McCurdy. Come January, they might be looking for another striker, and they might be there or thereabouts. You know, Danny
it's
might
the sort
be for them.
It's the sort of same with the likes of Crawley. For me, if Crawley aren't where they want to be come January, Crawley are going to spend 150, 200 grand on a player.
Yeah, they're going to have to.
They will do, and they've got the money to. So, but Walsall for me are really, really having a bit of a backwards run now.
Yeah.
We just said about McCurdy there. I think he's going to go. I know there's offers still on the table.
Yeah.
What does that mean for Swindon? What do you do if you lose your talisman when you're not even performing well?
You've got to look at. I think there's a lot of teams at the minute, and this is us and yourself included, that are looking around for strikers. And there's a few around. I mean, and I'm going to say his name wrong because I always do, but I think it's Tushima or
Shimanga.
Yeah, at Chesterfield. He's come back from a broken leg, as much as I hate Chesterfield.
Did you see what he did, by the way?
No.
Got subbed on Saturday. Oh, no, today. Was it today or Saturday?
Saturday, I think he got subbed on. He started today.
Oh, got subbed on Saturday. Scored. Got subbed back off.
Amazing.
Like, I mean, granted, I don't know what the timings were on the subbings, but yeah, literally, Shimanga came on as a sub, then he scored, and then he got subbed back off. He got 24 in 23 before he broke his leg.
Yeah.
So I reckon you're lucky. I don't think no one's going to move for him this week. It's going to be a January thing with Shimanga, but you get to the point where if he's, let's say by January, he's on 15, 20 goals, you're looking at a stupid amount of money, and there's only going to be a finite amount of clubs. You guys are probably one of the clubs that can afford him because you guys sneak under the radar every single year with your budgets.
I just don't think Chesterfield would even entertain us. I just don't think there's a relationship enough there. Unless we came in with a stupid amount, and it'd have to be over and above what anyone's offered. I just don't know. I mean, he scored again today. I just think it'd be worth it. Rather than wait until January, I think somebody's going to hit the panic button and go in for him this week. Whether he's fully fit or not, I think someone will take a punt on him.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think Chesterfield are going to, at this point, even recovering from a broken leg, I don't think Chesterfield are going to let him go for less than 600-700 grand. Their owner said before he broke his leg that he wouldn't take less than $1 million.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen today. Sorry, I don't know what's going to happen this week. It's going to be, it'll be interesting to see if someone does go in for the likes of Shimanga. But if they do, let's see what he can do. Can he compete at a League Two level? Most likely, yes. But so can a lot of the players that are already at these League Two clubs, and they're not.
Yeah, I think it's a strange season because the players that you get told about, before the season starts, none of them's really stood out for me. I mean, a lot of people went on about Paddy Madden.
Yeah.
When they played us, he was literally, I didn't really see a lot of him.
It was today. Shamanga got subbed on, scored, and went off. Yeah. So he got subbed on today, scored, and then went off. Which is, that's just taking the piss. That is,
really, isn't it? Yeah, go on, score, mate. Off you come. Cheers, done your job. But then the other question is to that is, why have you done that? Now, is that desperation from Chesterfield to get the goal to win the game, or is that the fact that you're trying to keep him fresh because he might be going somewhere this week?
No, so looking, he actually played a lot more than it looks. It looks like Asante for Chesterfield was injured in the first 10 minutes. So he came on after 8 minutes. He was subbed off in the 90th minute. So they probably only planned for him to play half the game.
Yeah.
But they had no choice but to play him for longer. They took him off in the 90th, probably to get the fans' appreciation and to just say, we brought him on, he scored, and we brought him off. What a story. He's back.
Yeah.
There's a few players that people were expecting to do really well this season that kind of haven't done anything as of yet. So let's see what goes on. Let's see what happens.
It's going to be an interesting season.
It already is. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it and I hate it. Like, I love everything that's going on around, but I hate supporting the club in this league. I can't wait for us to either get promoted or relegated, because we'll still be covering League Two on this podcast. But I just won't have to cover my own club because I cannot stand it. It's horrible.
Honestly, the last thing you want to do is get relegated. Having spent some time in that non-league places, and I've been to some places, it is not the nicest place to be at all. You're seen as a big club week in, week out, and it's horrible because these teams who you've never even heard of will turn up and do you, and you're like, I've never even heard of this team.
I mean, that's what happens to us now. That's us now when we came up against Barrow. Well, the first time we played Barrow, we were like, oh, the Barrow, and then we get beat by them. Same with Harrogate. Harrogate, another one. We've never in our history beaten Harrogate. That's horrible. And do you know what? They're based 25 minutes away from us, so it's kind of a derby, but we don't even acknowledge it as a derby because we see them as that much of a non-team. Yeah. But that what you experienced in non-league, we experienced that here. We don't see it. Oh no, some of our fans do, because some of our fans are dicks, but all the other clubs see us as that team. They see us as that big team. We're the team where people go to our ground and up their game. Yeah,
I mean, we did. When we went there, we upped it, and obviously Mark used his first game, it was a sellout, and it was a good game for us.
What a game. Do you know what? It was a good game for us, though. Like, we lost 3-0. We lost 3-0 to you.
I think it wanted 2. I think it was 2 with Oates and Longstaff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Oates scored that curling left footer.
Yeah.
If you think, like, you guys won 2-0 that day, we were happy. Now, that shows how bad we'd been before that. We came out of that game going, it's only been 2 days and we're already looking better. Like, I remember that game. Grant, and this, but you know what, we can talk about this now, because Grant came down for that game. He came to watch Bradford Mansfield. He brought his missus with him. And about 45 minutes to 50 minutes in, Bradford made a sub. Theo Robinson came on. And Grant's missus sat and watched for 10 minutes or so. She's not a football fan in the slightest. She shouldn't claim to be a football fan. She was there because she came down. We all went. She turned to Grant and she went, you see that Robinson? He's shite. Where's Theo Robinson now, Russell?
Well, we don't know, do we? I mean, obviously, he's been training with us. He's been to some games, but we've not announced him. I mean, Mr. 5 in 52 is not a Mansfield Town player at the moment. And if you're training with someone like Barnett, and Barnett ain't signing you, and if you're training with Mansfield and we haven't announced it yet, I don't know if we're waiting to win a game before we actually announce it or something. So everyone's on a bit of a high and don't go into meltdown. But realistically, I don't know if we're going to sign him or not.
It's weird because, like you say, he is training with you. And for me, if I was in a club that was kind of in a situation where things weren't going great and they were questions being asked by the fans, I wouldn't be bringing players in that aren't attached to clubs just to train with us for the sake of it. I wouldn't. I think you need your players to be quite a close-knit community when things are going wrong. And pre-season, it's fine. You can have people come in at pre-season, but not at this point. He's never played for you before, has he?
No, and this is what I don't know if he was under Clough when he was because he was at Derby, wasn't he? So I don't know if he was under Clough there.
Should we get the info?
Like, realistically, I don't know. I think he's trained with us a long time for him not to be announced. I mean, I don't know if he's been at training today or not, but it just seems a bit strange. If he's not been announced yet, to me it says he ain't signing. He's just keeping fit. But
he was brought in on loan to Derby under Nigel Clough. He then signed permanently for Derby under Nigel Clough. But to be fair, he scored 18 in 67 for Clough at Derby.
Yeah, he did do all right at Derby, but realistically, you've been at 2 League Two clubs now, and you've not really done a great deal, have you? You've not really set the world on fire.
He's been at more League Two clubs. He's been at more than 2 League Two clubs. He's been at Bradford, Port Vale, Colchester, Swindon, Doncaster. He's been at 5
jerseys.
Yeah, he's been at 5. He's been at Port Vale twice. But he was at Scunthorpe at one stage. Obviously, Scunthorpe been relegated now. But yeah, no, as far as like over the last 6-7 months or so, there's 6 clubs that have been involved in League Two that Theo Robinson has been to. And to be fair, aside from that time at Derby, he's never recaptured that form. It came close at Colchester. 11 in 28 at Colchester. 2 in 23 at Bradford. What I will say is that one of those 2 was the goal of the season. And Bradford fans were that salty about it that when the voting came out for the player of the season, even though it was the clear winner, they started voting for other goals just so that he didn't get the trophy. But he won anyway. If Theo Robinson signs for you, I'm going to be like, here we go, money on, Mansfield relegated. Let's go.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not holding out much hope. But it depends if he's a versatile player. I mean, we do love versatile players. You got to be able to play up front and right back, or front and centre back.
No,
we don't have one player who plays well. We do probably Oates, but I think he's been dropped to midfield before. But realistically, we've got this love of versatile players. I'm sure. I don't know why.
He's versatile in the sense of he can play left back in changing rooms and right back on coach. Yeah, those are his 2 positions.
I'd take it, but this is the thing. I mean, we've got strikers. Hawkins, prime example, he's a striker, plays centre back. Lucas Akins is an attacking forward, played right back Saturday, and it's just one of them. I feel for Lucas Akins. He's one of them players that he's a really nice guy, and I said all pre-season, I think he's going to be our talisman this year. We're pre-season under him. He's going to do really well. But it's not working out for him. And the fans have he is the boo boy this season.
Yeah. Every club has one. Who was it last year, out of curiosity?
I don't know. See, for me, it was Jamie Murphy. But realistically, I think fans are fickle, aren't they? And I think Lucas is trying. I think he's playing in the wrong position, but he will just play. But the fans aren't happy with him, and they're on his back. And I don't know. I just think deep down that at some point he's going to come good. And I mean, I might watch this podcast back in like 6 months and go, God, that were a bag of shit, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's not a bad prediction.
But
every club has one. We had last season, it started with Richard O'Donnell. We brought in Alex Bass, so Richard O'Donnell wasn't playing, and then it moved on to Oscar Threlkeld. This season, it's Liam Rydal. I don't think Rydal's a bad player, but I feel like for us, we've got this. We've improved every position on the pitch other than left back this year.
Yeah.
So now we're at a point where the next logical step for us to improve has to be left back.
Yeah,
because that is now our weakest position, and that's not a knock on him because last year it was one of our strongest positions. But when you improve everything else, you've then got to eventually it comes to that point where that's your next step. So he is kind of given a bit of a rough ride. But let's see. I'm still hopeful of Dion Pereira. I
You
have.
think? I don't know.
I have kind of inside knowledge on Dion Pereira. That's why I'm quite confident. Every day that passes, my confidence grows.
Yeah.
And usually it'd be the other way. Usually it would be the other way. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I tried to contact people at clubs, and I was immediately shot down and told Dion is not going to Bradford. But the source, I'll tell you when we stop, but because I can't say it on here because it's not fair. But the source is, to anyone who's listening, it is the most believable and solid source you could possibly want.
Yeah.
I still think he'll end up at Bradford.
Yeah.
Maybe not this week because it's a loan. We don't have to sign him on loan this week, but I think it'll be, we need. To be fair, we need someone in that position. Jamie Walker's out injured. It looks like it's going to be longer term. Abouais is out injured. Osadebe snapped his leg in 2 places because Doncaster think that that's appropriate. So yeah, we'll see what happens. So,
yeah, I think that's it. It's going to be a busy week, but then sometimes these clubs that want to loan players out to a high level, it don't work. Obviously, Cloughie openly said that we wanted Nathan Bishop back. I mean, he played, I believe, and I'll probably get this wrong, but I believe he played like 52 games for us last year. Might be a bit less, a bit more, but he was solid for us, and he's a good young keeper. Man United wanted him to go out to a League One team on loan. They faffed around, and he's still at Man United. The League One teams have all got cover now. The teams he was linked with have got cover. So now he's in the last year of his contract, and he's stuck at United in the under-23 teams, which is a shame because he's such a talent.
Yeah.
But that's what happens, isn't it, with these big clubs?
Yep, and that's a very similar situation. So let's look at this weekend. In fact, to be fair, you've mentioned you've got the cup tomorrow. We don't usually go into it. We've got Sheffield Wednesday at home. It's not FA Cup. It's not the League Cup. It's the Pizza Cup. A lot of people don't really care about it. I don't care for it at the group stages.
No,
I think
I'm not bothered.
If we get through the group stages, then for me, I think it's can be quite an interesting, and it's a good little cup to be involved in. But so yeah, we're not going to dwell too much on that. But this Saturday, this is the only game of the season I'm actually missing league-wise. Bradford Walsall.
How come you're missing it then?
Right, okay. So this is where it gets. Do you know what? My missus listens to this as well, so I hope she does listen to this, and I hope she gets embarrassed. So she does this thing. She's done this since she was a kid. It's not a family thing, but where we're from, there's a lot of like little villages, and it's all very inbred. And there's a lot of old traditions. Have you ever seen League of Gentlemen?
Yeah.
It's all very much League of Gentlemen, and they still stand with these old traditions. And one of the things that she does is it's called rush bearing. And every year, it's on the first Saturday and Sunday of September. They all go to this village. They carry this big fucking cart around with someone sat on top of it, and they go. Basically, in the olden days, they used to go from church to church to church, delivering the rushes to put on the floor to keep the place warm. It's now just turned into a 2-day pub crawl. But they all still dress up as they did back then.
Are you dressing up?
I'm a bollocks. Mate, I'm not even walking with the cart. So they go from church to pub to church to pub to church to pub. I miss every church.
It's the
I
best
just
way.
meet them at the pub. 2 years. I went 2 years ago. The first one that I did, I got that wrecked. I gave an old lady £70 to hold because I was trying to jump in a canal. I got stopped from jumping in the canal. Turned around, and the old lady had just fucked off with my 70 quid because she'd come out of B&M. It was B&M. She'd come out of B&M. She wasn't part of it. She was going home, and I was like, just hold this, and gave her it and went to jump in. People were stopping me. I was like, no. And then I turned around, and she'd gone. She must have been like, fucking buzzing, 70 quid. She just went
quid,
just gone.
Honestly,
just get absolutely.
To be fair, I feel your pain. I'm not missing an away game this season, apart from my wife don't listen to this, so I'm safe. So my wife's booked a 2-week holiday to Ibiza in the middle of the football season. Brilliant, great, can't wait. Me and the son are obviously gutted.
Divorce.
I am currently looking at flights on the Saturday from Ibiza to London to go to Crawley away. Now, I haven't mentioned this to her yet because she's going to go batshit when she finds out. But I'm just going to spring it on her. I'll tell her, like, I'm going to Barcelona. The plan is I've dropped seeds and said, oh, yeah. Me and my lad are going to go to Barcelona for a day, watch Barcelona and then come back. Realistically, I'm going to get a flight into Stansted or Gatwick and go and watch Stags at Crawley, hopefully. If I'm not divorced, then it's some kind of miracle by that.
Please vlog the entire day.
So,
Please vlog. I want to see screenshots of messages when she realizes where you are. Or when you're just about to take off and she texts you and goes, Barcelona are playing today. Because she's looked online.
I'm kind of hoping like Wagner take pity on me and just like give me a VIP experience over there or something. But yeah,
We'll sort that. We'll sort that.
I'm currently looking at cheap flights to get over there for it. But like we have this ongoing joke. So basically last year it was my wedding anniversary and it fell the weekend that football fell on. So I said, oh, I'll tell you what then, let's go to Cardiff for his anniversary, knowing full well that weekend Mansfield played Newport. Well, it was the big storm, wasn't it? So we didn't get a chance to go. But I said to it next day, don't worry, we're still going to go to Wales. So obviously I'd booked us travel. So for his wedding anniversary, I took it to Newport, which isn't the nicest of places you could ever go to. And then this year, I mean, I'm still not divorced, but realistically, this year, my wedding anniversary falls on a Saturday. And Tranmere at Tranmere.
To be fair, no one wants to go to Tranmere.
Well, she don't know she's going. I'm just going to put it in a like anniversary card, happy anniversary, and then she's going to open it up and find a Tranmere ticket in there.
Happy anniversary! You're going to Birkenhead.
Yeah.
Well, put this out there, Preston Johnson. You've heard it. He's travelling from Ibiza to come and watch his team play at Crawley. Let's get something sorted for him. Preston will sort you something, and then it'll be worthwhile. She'll be annoyed she didn't come with you. Let's make it that. Let's make it not so that you have something to go, well, no, I had to go because I got this. Make it so that she goes, why didn't I get an invite? That's what you want.
That'd be the best thing. I mean, she can be sat on a beach, nice and relaxing. Me and my lad can be watching Stags. Exactly. So everybody wins.
Exactly.
And she thinks I'm at New Camp.
That's going to be interesting. Well, I mean, they do say that Crawley is the new Barcelona.
Well, well, not unless they get rid of this manager, it will not be.
I've just appealed to the owner of the club, and he just said this. Jesus Christ!
I'm just trying to help him. I'm trying to help his decision-making process.
Yeah. No. Carlisle, Rochdale. That last season for me would have been a non-game, but Carlisle, they've surely got to win.
Yeah. I mean, we'll all sit here gobsmacked on Sunday if they pick up something. But
Carlisle have got to sack the manager if they lose.
Yeah.
Hartlepool, Colchester. Well, Colchester, Hartlepool at Colchester. That for me has got to be the game that Hartlepool try and get the 3 points out. They've got to.
I think they're going to win. I think Hartlepool are going to win on Saturday. I've just got this feeling.
I hope they do.
I mean, Colchester's got their own problems with their owner as well, haven't they?
Yeah, but it's that thing of who are the bigger problems at Hartlepool or Colchester. And it's at Colchester, so it's probably a little bit more difficult.
Yeah.
Crewe are playing Stevenage. Crewe were really, really hard to break down from what I could see on Saturday. But Stevenage go until the very, very, very end. We nearly took it at the very, very end. Stevenage have got a habit of taking it till the very end, so I feel like they'll nick it maybe at the very end. But
I don't know. I think it might. I think all these late goals and all this drama with them, I think it's just starting to catch up with them a little bit. And I think obviously Danny Rose had a knock, played, got another knock, and now he's going to be out for a bit. I think he's just a bit light up front. I think that's obviously one of Steve Evans' concerns, but.
Yeah, they need to make some moves this week because they're still quite a light squad. Next game, big game, Doncaster Mansfield. I honestly, I hope to Christ you win, but I'm not going to put any prediction out there for it because they're not an easy team to play. Not for good reasons either. You don't come away. You regardless, if you lose, you won't come away going, they deserve that. And that's the most infuriating thing about it. Gillingham, Swindon as well next. Go on, sorry, what were you going to say?
I think the thing is, I will take a point now. If somebody offers me a point now, I'll take it, just so we've got some away from home to build on. But we'll see.
Nice,
I mean,
points,
moving on, Gillingham, Swindon, that'd be an interesting game. I mean, it's sod's law, isn't it? We spoke about it tonight, all the fighting. Gillingham not scored 7.5 hours. You can see Gillingham going there and scoring 2 and winning.
But you can see as well, if Swindon go there and win 1-0, you'll see those Swindon fans going, oh, this is it. We're on a run now. We're going to absolutely smash. It's like, no. The same as what they did after Rochdale. They smashed Rochdale. Oh, look at it. We've clicked. It's like, no, you played Rochdale.
Yeah.
Like, you've not clicked. You're playing a team that hasn't scored in 7.5 hours this weekend. Yeah. If you get a goal, you are probably going to win. I don't know. Leyton Orient are playing Tranmere. That could go anywhere because Tranmere can, on their day, beat anyone in this league, but they can also just roll over. Newport, Grimsby. I genuinely can't think of a time in the season where I've ever looked at a set of fixtures and gone, this is dull.
Yeah.
It's a really dull set.
I don't think there's going to be a lot of draws this weekend. I mean, the big thing is we know Bogle's not going to carry on scoring forever. He does this for a little bit and then just drifts away. And we all know it's going to happen. Starts off really well at start of the season. Normally when windows opening, he picks up a little bit. And then there'll be a lull for a bit. So, I don't know. And Grimsby, I just see that being a draw. In Newport really are missing Flynn. I genuinely think Flynn was their identity. It was their ethos of football. And I think without him, they're a little bit lost.
No, I agree. Definitely. I think that they're nowhere near the side that they were when they had Flynn. Northampton, Barrow. That's got to be a draw. That's got draw written all over it, hasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we all laugh and joke about Barrow, but if Barrow pick up a result on Saturday, you've got to start really stilly looking at them and thinking,
all depends on what happens with their players. We got the little bit of a notification about players wanting to leave, about offers coming in. All depends on that, really. If they manage to keep those players, and if they don't, if they manage to replace. Salford Crawley. That to me is a big game because we're talking about Salford City versus Crawley, who are potentially becoming the new Salford City. Yeah.
I think it's Salford win. I think it's, and probably maybe by 2 or more. Salford are quick. Salford are really quick at, and Asante's quite. I'm sure I've got that right. He is a fast player. He tore us apart at both games when we played him.
He's linked with a move away though.
So
he is linked with a move to, I believe, Barnsley. So he might not be there. Thomas Asante might not be there on Saturday.
That'd be an interesting one because all 10 Salford fans would be absolutely devastated.
I know. Can you imagine it? He's a good player though.
Yeah.
Stockport County, AFC Wimbledon. Another dull game. Sorry, Stockport, but you've not set the world alight so far this season. It's just a boring game.
See, I'm really interested in Wimbledon. They're one of them teams that I just feel should be doing better than what they are. But a lot of Charlton fans have said, when I asked the question about like their manager, Johnny, a lot of Charlton fans came on and says he's got no plan B. When it starts getting tough, he doesn't know what to do. And that was quite evidential at Mansfield. 2-0 up, made it 2-1. They got the sending off. And when we pulled it back to 2-2, even though they had a man down, it was very much like we don't really know what to do.
Yeah.
I just feel that's going to end up costing them. But
a lot of managers at this league, at this level, don't seem to have plan Bs, and that it comes unstuck. You get an injury, and that's it. Your plan A is just done, and you're basically winging it for the rest of the season. The final game is Sutton versus Harrogate Town. I couldn't have picked a better weekend to miss games, I don't think, to be fair.
I know. Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think you're right on that one. I mean, that's going to be another dull, drab game. It'd be Sutton's long ball versus like Harrogate's. Like
Harrogate's rolling over.
Yeah.
Sutton have got to win that.
I mean, there's an interesting thing on Twitter though about Harrogate. So some Harrogate fan has actually tweeted saying your cost of football is too much. So I had a quick look on the website. And I think it's £20 a ticket.
What Harrogate's cost of football?
Harrogate's cost of football. They're saying it's too much for the average fan. Mm-hmm. So it's £20 a ticket. However, they were saying at the Swindon game last week, compared to last season, there were 985 fans less. And then when they played last weekend, there were 913 at the fixture, home fans less than last season.
So
you've lost nearly 1,000 fans. Like, where have they gone? Where do people go? Like, I get that some drop off, but to have
I think Harrogate have got 2 teams as well. They've probably got to watch Harrogate Railway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
I mean,
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
We're going to do an episode on the cost of football. We're going to have to because we keep going on about it. But
yeah,
I am gonna. We've reached an hour. It's beautiful. So I'm going to start to wrap up because we're trying to keep these below an hour because the spaces are now going on for 2.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed tonight. Thank you very much for coming on.
I've really enjoyed it as well. Thank you for having me. Cheers, Grant.
Yeah, cheers, Grant. Have another baby.
Yeah, that's it.
To be fair, my missus is due in January, so we will need a co-host in January. Well,
that's it. I'm happy to stand in again.
She thinks we'll need a co-host in January, but I'm not planning on going nowhere. But we'll still have you on. But yeah, guys, I'm not going to do the walkout that Grant normally does because I can't do it right. What I am going to do is I'm going to say, keep following us on Twitter, keep joining the League 2 606. It's getting bigger. We're getting a lot of people watching and a lot of people contributing now. It's a good laugh. We do have a lot of fun.
It's genuinely, I'm going to give it a plug in myself. It is genuinely a good laugh. And obviously, if Swindon lose this weekend, tune in Sunday because you'll see
it's going to be chaos.
It's going to be madness. And it is just fantastic. I know we all live in this bubble where we all care about our own clubs, but it genuinely is fantastic to see and hear about all these other different clubs in our league experiencing similar problems to what we've got.
Yeah, definitely. Guys, we have been the lower league look. The lower league look. The music fade in. I don't know. I was singing Cornetto.